Hi, welcome to my new series, Is It Gay or Is It ADHD? As I get older, I think that I'm realizing I have a lot more ADHD characteristics than I actually thought, and I'm also maybe a little gay. As I was researching ADHD and its many attributes, I'm realizing I do have a lot of them. And just a quick cliff notes on what ADHD actually is. It can be considered a few things. It can be considered a cognitive function disorder, an executive function disorder, or a neurodevelopmental disorder. And a lot of the disorder centers around the three pillars of impulse control, attention, and action. So people that have ADHD have a hard time retaining dopamine. You have a hard time getting, fully satisfied by anything. And whether you're on the hyperactive spectrum or the less hyperactive spectrum, you still have a hard time retaining that dopamine, meaning you're more likely to make rash decisions or you don't make decisions at all. You're kind of like a squirrel, right? You're like, this exciting thing over here is great for a second, and then maybe this is exciting for a second. So you have a hard time making decisions, whether it's day to day or just in your career or in your relationships. So that being said, I realized that a lot of these ADHD characteristics and qualities are very similar and correlated to sexuality. And I'm realizing there's a lot of correlations between fluidity in sexuality and also ADHD. I did a little bit of research on this, and it turns out I'm actually pretty right with this theory. People with ADHD are more likely to be more fluid and open to new experiences. Also, maybe those experiences are with the opposite gender. Who's to say? So that was the inspiration for this series, where I think about things constantly, where I'm like, is this an ADHD thing? Is it a gay thing? Is it both? More than likely, there's some overlap, right? It's probably a little bit of both, but I thought it'd be just fun to open up the discussion, because I think a lot of people could relate to this, and a lot of people maybe are confused with their sexuality, or maybe they're confused with their own neurodivergence and how to manage that. So let's get into the episode of my first question. Okay, so my first question of, is this gay or is this ADHD, is having multiple drinks at one time. Is having multiple drinks at one time gay or ADHD? Personally, I have a lot of drinks at one time. I think this also is a gender thing in a way, because I think more likely than not, women have a lot of drinks at one time, more so than men. I like to have something that's hydrating, right? Something that's hydrating, and then maybe a caffeinated beverage. I also like adaptogenic beverages, like kin, or something that, helps my mood. Maybe like a kefir or a kombucha or something. Whatever it is, there's a lot, right? And I was at my friend's house recently, and between us, we had, I counted, and there was 15 drinks between us. And some of which were opened, most of them were opened, and some of them were just around us. And my friend looks at me and she's like, that's like a bi thing, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I realized that it definitely seems a little gay, because not just a straight gay thing, more like a bi pan thing, because it goes around the idea of inability to choose just one, right? You want all the flavors, you want all the things. You can't pick just one. But that could also go along with the ADHD, impulse control, inability to make a decision. So personally, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's right down the middle. But what do you think? Is it gay or is it just ADHD? Let me know.